What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down some big news that came out involving Donald Trump and what you should be watching for on the charts moving forward. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends very soon at the end of March. Anyways, as far as the market is going, I just wanted to say that we got a nice little push in the morning. SPY managed to break the all-time high just temporarily, then it ended up selling off a little bit to close very, very flat. So we had a flat stay on SPY. It was not able to continue to break out. It was just stuck between a range. And that's no surprise considering the options chain, as the market makers ended up hurting lots of options holders. However, at the same time, the QQQ was outperforming because we saw lots of tech stocks such as Nvda pumping quite a bit, and this really helped the QQQ approach its all-time high, getting very close to it. So this is still looking very strong, but we are going to be testing a tough resistance close to 540 very soon. So I'll talk more about the charts in just a couple of minutes, but I want to talk about Donald Trump. Now, for those out there who are annoyed, I understand the frustration. For those who like him or dislike him, I could care less. You guys have the right to your opinions. But my main point in saying this is because the truth is, Donald Trump is very important for the stock market. He causes major volatility. I think it's very important to listen to what he's been up to. And let me give you some examples. So, Donald Trump, for example, at the very end of January, he announced that on February 1st, he had a plan to impose tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. SPY went from 610 to 590 overnight. It dumped 20 points in one single weekend. So it's pretty crazy how that happened. This led to a lot of fear in the markets. But then, the Chinese and Mexican tariffs were delayed by 1 month. And this caused, the share price of SPY to start increasing. So did the QQQ. The Chinese tariffs were imposed with some exceptions, but we did see a full recovery almost. Then again, right, last Friday, 1 week ago, Donald Trump made the announcement that he's going to be making some big announcements involving tariffs. When he did that, this caused the market to dump 8 points. SPY went from 608 to 600 in one single day dumped. That's pretty wild how much his words could affect the way the market moves. Then yesterday, for example, SPY was at 602. SPY was way down here. Then Donald Trump announced his new tariff plan, and SPY rallied all the way up to all-time highs, very close to all-time highs, if anything, yesterday. It's about that 610 area. So you guys could see that Donald Trump causes a lot of volatility with his speeches, his policies, and that's the reason why I have to talk about him. My goal is to be very unbiased when doing so, not really favor or be against him, just kind of give you guys what the facts are and what he's truly saying, because his words really do affect the markets, and you guys can see that in the price action. So what is Donald Trump saying now? Let's talk about what his words were. I actually have his transcript. Once again, I'm going to read it to you guys. So Donald Trump was talking about how at least moving forward, he has been signing in order to create energy dominance, the Energy Dominance Council. That's what he's been saying. Then he said the U.S. has more energy than any other country, and that he wants to work on a pipeline in New York to bring down energy prices. So that's what he said so far. He didn't talk too much about tariffs, but he did say that the U.S. is going to become a real powerhouse again with his new tariff plan, and he would not mind if Japan took a minority stake in U.S. steel. So he didn't really mind about that. So he said some minor things about tariffs, but this is the big thing I'm thinking about. So he also said something very major, which is the fact that he wants to negotiate peace with Russia and Ukraine. So he plans on speaking with many of these leaders very, very soon. And if there is a peace deal that ends up coming, just hypothetically, I'm not saying, it's guaranteed to happen very soon, but if there's a lot of progress that's made, this could cause volatility in the markets. As soon as he made that announcement yesterday that he's been negotiating with Russia and Ukraine, we did see SPY start to pump. So we'll see if this ends up affecting the markets, if this causes a big change. Because of the fact that this could affect trade in a lot of different ways, and we'll see what that leads to. So just keep that in mind. If he makes more announcements over the weekend, this could also be affecting the markets, and that's the next thing that I think that could be very, very big. He also mentioned that his tariffs, many of them could be imposed in the auto industry as soon as April 2nd. That's not that far away. It's about a month and a half from now. So keep that in mind. Those are very important things that he's been saying. So all of this could affect the market and cause even more volatility. Now, for the upcoming trading week, please keep in mind that Monday is also going to be President's Day. It's going to be George Washington's birthday. So in honor of him, the stock market and bonds market will be closed. So there will not be trading on Monday. I hope you guys took my warning from earlier. I didn't tell you guys about this in case you guys are holding anything overnight. So the market's going to be closed Monday, and we're not going to go back to normal trading until Tuesday. So we have a long weekend ahead of us. That's very important, something that's worth mentioning. Now, for earnings, very, very minor earnings, at least for the week, nothing too crazy. We have like Etsy later on during the week. We have like Alibaba, Walmart, more retail on Thursday. And that's pretty much it. Nothing too insane, at least for this week. It's more quiet. Sorry, for next week, not this week. And then for the Fear and Greed Index, this is currently very close to neutral. Momentum is also at neutral right now. The put to call option ratio is now at greed as we start to see a lot of these shorts being closed because of the fact that the market caused this short squeeze, and volatility remains more neutral for now. So just keep all of that in mind. With that being said, what do I see at least for the share price of SPY? Honestly, guys, we're indecisive right now. We're stuck in this range. If SPY dumps and we lose 608, this could be dipping a little bit lower towards 605. If we end up holding or closing below 608, that's when I'd be anticipating a bigger move down. If we get below it, then get bought back up and close above it, then we're still going to be in the range. So keep that in mind. If we close above the 610s, if you see 611 plus on SPY, there's a good chance it's going to be pushing for 612.5, then eventually 615. So it could go either way, but this is what I think is very likely. So what I think is the fact that there might be a small pullback here, a very small one, because of the fact that this is a tough resistance first off. And then we have a slight bearish divergence that's been developing. If you look at the chart right here, our MACD is much lower than where it was over here, despite the fact that we made a somewhat higher high. So there might be a little pullback. It might be very, very minor, though, just by a couple of points, something like this. And then if Donald Trump makes some kind of announcement involving like Russia and Ukraine, peace negotiations, whatever it is, guys, I don't know what the next catalyst is going to be. But if we do get some kind of catalyst next week, then SPY could try to continue to push. There could be like this manipulation move down. If we reclaim this range and you see SPY try to get back up, then yes, that could be a very, very quick sign that this is going to try to rally for that 615 target. I think it's very possible we try that. And the reason for that is because SPX and ES are looking bullish. They've already started to break out. And we have Nvda, which is going to be pushing more most likely, which could help the market to some extent. So a move like this looks very probable, but just to be safe, it depends on our levels. If SPY cannot reclaim 608 and we just continue to reject, I do expect this to dump to about 605 or below, and then this could be invalidated. If we dip a bit, then get bought back up quickly, we want to see it break past the all-time high and hold above 611. If we break above the 611s, I'm going to be looking for an attempt for 615. The market's still strong, very resilient, but there might be a little dip before it tries to bounce as the most likely possibility. We'll see just to be safe. My opinion could also change depending on the news over the weekend. Now, the QQQ is looking good. I think it might push a tiny bit more, but there is one problem with the QQQ. We're approaching this resistance up here. So what I mean by that is if you look at the charts, the last time we were way up here, we were basically stuck at this resistance zone. We ended up hitting the 540 area up here, very close to 540, and we got a rejection off of that. So it's a very, very tough resistance up here. We're actually testing a very, very tough area. It's not going to be easy to just crack past this. And if we do it, then I will be expecting more upside. But what I think is going to happen is this. It's very likely we're going to be making a move like this where we come back down here. If we hit this resistance, we might not break it immediately. We might dip a little bit by a couple of points. As long as we don't end up losing like 535 to 533, as long as this range holds us, if we do get a small pullback like this, then we could continue to go higher and then try to break out to new all-time highs. That's very possible as well. So long as SPY is not close below like 535 or 533, we could just touch that area before it tries to continue to go higher as the most likely possibility. We still look very bullish and we're outperforming SPY thus far. Notice that the Russell's indecisive. There's a wick here, another wick here. We're just stuck in between this. Might see a little dip here to retest like 225 before it tries to bounce, but this kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulders, which is why I think we might see a similar move. So this was like our left shoulder. This is like our head, right? And then this is like maybe like a little bit of a dip for a right shoulder before it tries to bounce. Inverse head and shoulders, which looks pretty good, is very probable. For ES, ES is looking more bullish. If you guys look at ES, we're trying to break out right here. So if you look at this range, there's like a channel right here. This channel was where ES was in, right? We broke out of this for the next leg up. That's the first thing that happened to ES. And this is what led SPY, actually. This was stronger than SPY, at least during that first leg up. Then secondly, what happened was we formed another channel for the last couple of weeks with all this inflation talk and so on and so forth. And then, even though we got a hot CPI, a hot PPI, and Trump announcing more tariffs, the market continued to rally. And now we're forming what could be like the next leg up. So, this is like the sign of a breakout right here. If we get some kind of dip to about 6,100 or so, as long as we don't get back into this channel, as long as we don't end up losing like 60 or something like that, this will likely continue to push for a new high, a new all-time high. You know what else is interesting is that SPY is making new all-time highs, but ES is not there yet. So it makes me think that if ES tries to push for that all-time high, SPY could be launched even higher towards like the 615 area, because SPY is outperforming now, despite the fact that earlier it was ES. So they're kind of shifting directions here and there. But right now, this could be a potential breakout if we do get some kind of pullback. As long as we don't lose 6,100 and this support where this trend line is, we're favoring the upside. If we do lose it, we will dip back down. But for now, we're looking for a move just like this. With that being said, that's what I'm seeing, at least for ES. What I really like is NQ's chart. So this is interesting because, okay, ES is behind SPY. What do I mean by that? ES is not making all-time highs. It's approaching them. It's still well below its all-time high right here, but SPY broke the all-time high. So you guys can see that SPY, our ETF, is a little bit behind. It's a little bit above. And as this pushes higher, that could actually launch SPY higher as well. And then NQ is doing the same thing. So futures are behind. Futures are kind of behind. NQ is not at the all-time high yet. It's actually quite a distance away. So it's very interesting to me how NQ, the NASDAQ, they're behind. The QQQ is ahead. SPY is ahead. So that makes me think that maybe SPY and the QQQ could be making new all-time highs, continue to rocket, while these try to catch up to their all-time highs. So why do I say that? Well, when you look at, for example, the chart, we have this inverse head and shoulders, right? This move right here is kind of like our left shoulder. This is our head, and this is like a right shoulder. And then this full measured move actually takes you up to about the 21,400s. If we lose support right here at 22,000 flat, we're looking for a dump to about 21,800. As long as we're above 22,000, we're favoring an uptrend towards 22,400. Nice inverse head and shoulders, nice rebound, nice accumulation. So I think this is favoring a breakout, and 22,400 could be coming. There's a good chance it tries to do this. I think it's looking quite bullish so far. So for now, NQ is looking good. Just like ES, we could see a little pullback, a temporary pullback to retest this breakout, even if we go back down to 22,000. As long as we don't lose it, I think that we could just see a small dip like this and continue to push. So what if NQ is about to see a dip and a big bounce? ES is about to do the same thing to try to approach their all-time highs. And then, the QQQ and SPY, they're already at all-time highs. Maybe they're about to break out even higher as well. So that makes me suspect that this could launch things even higher as we see futures lead the way. On Bitcoin, we're range bound right here, so we're not really seeing as many buyers into Bitcoin. There's a small accumulation here, so this may slowly uptrend for 98,800 to make a nice push. We'll see about that. Now, not NQ, Nvda, Nvda is looking better. What I like about this is the fact that we're about less than 2 weeks away from earnings, but this is trying to recover after so much downside. Now, despite the fact that Donald Trump said that he's open to increasing tariffs on semiconductors, Nvidia is outperforming because of their new Blackwell chips. We're starting to see a big upgrade, and this is leading to a lot of optimism about their GPUs. So I think what's going to happen is as we approach earnings, there's going to be a lot of optimism, a lot of excitement, and this is going to help the share price start to slowly recover. It's not like Nvidia is rallying really hard. It's more like what's happening is we're making a recovery move because we dumped really hard. We used to be at 156. Instead of being at 156, this thing started dumping, especially after the DeepSeek news that came out. So with that happening, we dumped all the way down to 112. We dumped really hard, and since then we're just slowly uptrending. So this makes me tell you that this is just a recovery move. It's not like Nvidia is breaking all-time highs. We're not even close to them right now. We're actually quite a distance away. So we're just trying to recover. And I think this recovery phase is going to continue as buyers return and they begin to realize that the DeepSeek news was exaggerated. So we have a gap to fill around this 142 area. There's a very good chance that Nvidia does this. As long as we don't lose these EMAs around like the 130 to 133 area, If we get a small pullback, it's going to be healthy before it continues to push towards the end of the week for that gap fill. And I think the mid 140s could be coming very soon and pretty easily. And not just the mid 140s, I think that right before earnings are going to be about a week and a half from now. I think they're on the 26th. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's when their earnings are going to be. Less than 2 weeks from now, I think we could be hitting the 150s again. We could be making a full recovery. We know buyers love to buy Nvidia beforehand, and I think there's a good chance it tries to rally. Tesla is in the middle. It's a mixed bag for me. So what I don't like about this, I'm going to say good things and bad things, by the way. So what's not good is that we're making lower highs and lower lows, rejecting over and over again. What is good, however, is the fact that despite those rejections, it's trying to reclaim its 20 EMA. So when I go to like the 30, sorry, not 30 second. Sorry, guys, I think I clicked on 30 second. I meant to go to the 30 minutes time frame. Sorry about that. The 30 minutes time frame. Okay. When we go back like this is resembling an inverse head and shoulders. So it's possible that Tesla's about to reverse here and try to break. But like I said in my earlier video, we have to break 362. We got to break 362. If we break that, Tesla goes back to the 370s quite easily. 362 is very tough. If we lose 345, we turn back down. There's an inverse head and shoulders like pattern. So maybe it's about to bounce here. Maybe it's about to see a breakout. That depends on the news and factors. Most of the news is very negative for Tesla, so we'll see about that. But there is potential in this chart, at least nonetheless. Let me go over just a few more. Apple's looking pretty good. So what I like about Apple is that when you go to our bigger time frame, you could see what the trend is doing. We have a triple bottom leg pattern, and this is trying to make a full recovery. Why is that? Because of this. There's an imbalance around 247 or so. So I think we easily push a little bit higher. Maybe we dip a bit, then we just continue. That's bullish for the markets. Apple should be pushing to 247 pretty easily, if not higher, because of the inverse head and shoulders. So I do expect it to get very close to the high 240s. Just a few more. We have AMD. AMD is trying to uptrend. We're going to be looking for a test of this trend line. It might slowly push for 115-ish, maybe a little bit below that. And we'll see if we break past this or not. Coinbase is, it dumped really hard after earnings. This was kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news event because it already pumped beforehand. So the pump already came beforehand. Might dip a little bit more. It's about 270 before it tries to bounce, but I think that it's going to make a full. It's going to bounce very, very soon. Amazon, very flat right now, not really doing a whole lot. We're stuck between 230s resistance and 225 as support. It might tip a little bit to about 227.5 before it bounces, but it's just consolidating. Meta is very strong. It's very, very strong. Every time we hit this green EMA, the 20 EMA, we bounce over and over again. We're looking quite easily for 740 soon. Looks quite good. No sign of rejection yet. Microsoft is very flat right here. It's trying to base around 405. I think we just consolidate before it tries to hit 410. And then Google might try to rebound. We'll see if we could get back above 188. If that's the case, we're looking for 189. Overall, what is good about this chart is the fact that this is like a left shoulder, this is like a head, and this is like a right shoulder. If we break 189, there's a good chance we try to push higher for this imbalance over here for a nice reversal move. But that's under the assumption we break 189 again. So we got to get back above 189. If we break 189, I do expect a nice recovery move. If we can't do that, if we don't get back above 189, then it's going to just continue to consolidate like this, back and forth price action. So we'll see. Can we reclaim 189 within 1 to 2 weeks? There's a good chance it tries to do that, and we'll see if that ends up being the case. With that being said, the VIX is still kind of lackluster. We'll see if this gets a small bounce or not before it continues to dip. Overall, I do believe it's going to be coming down to fill this gap around the 13 area. Maybe it kind of like pushes first and then it starts dipping as the market makes a new all-time high. And then what's going to happen is eventually it's going to bottom. Then we're going to be looking for a big surge in volatility, just like this as time goes on. So this is what I expect when we get closer to like March, perhaps that's when it's going to be looking for, a big pump. So this is what I think the VIX is going to be doing. A little rebound, maybe with the market dips a bit, and then it's going to reject because the market's going to see a big rally most likely as we come back down to fill this gap. As of right now, that's what I'm seeing. And then maybe as time goes on, when seasonality starts to kick in around the springtime, as we get closer to spring, basically around March, that's when we're going to be looking for a big shift in volatility. So anyways, that's it for my video, guys. I'm not going to go over every specific detail. I want to make this one kind of short and simple. I thank you all so much for listening. I'll see if I get time to upload a video for tomorrow. Keep in mind, it's going to be a long weekend, so I will for sure see you guys on Sunday and Monday. I'm going to debate if I'm going to record a video on Saturdays, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a very, very happy Valentine's Day. I hope you guys have a very, very fun day and you guys enjoy what the holiday has to offer. And please remember that if you don't have a Valentine, it's completely okay. This is another day that we're alive. We can enjoy nature, enjoy what life has to offer, whether you're alone or not. And you could still be optimistic nonetheless, no matter what happens, right? This is a great day to go to the gym, try to pursue a hobby you may enjoy, spend time with family, whatever you want to do. Spend time with friends who are also single, whatever you guys want to do, right? Be optimistic, keep your heads up no matter what. If you're not going to hang out with anyone, then it's completely fine as well. You could stay home, do whatever you want to do. That's up to you guys. Whatever you want to do, please have a good time. Take care of yourselves when I say that, okay? And also, just know that it's another day to improve ourselves, and the future is still very bright no matter what. So, have a very happy Valentine's Day no matter what circumstances you're in. Tomorrow is a new day, and you guys could always improve. And I'll be back with another upload maybe tomorrow, if not by Sunday, okay? Thank you for listening. Have a good one, and peace out.